shocked to discover that her little follower was helping her catch her cheating partner. Watching the girl defend her so fiercely even when she wasn't around, the female director couldn't help but be deeply moved. However, just as she was about to step forward to help, she saw in horror that the girl's best friend had deliberately pushed her into the road, trying to get her killed by an oncoming car. It turned out that not long ago, the girl had accidentally spotted the CEO kneeling down to apologize to the female director. Having been reborn, she immediately realized that the CEO was definitely apologizing insincerely, intending to swindle the female director out of all her money. Then, just like in her past life, he would collude with the girl's best friend to kill both the female director and the girl, so she immediately tried to rush in to warn the director, but was stopped by the director's assistant, who told her that since the director knew the CEO was a scumbag, she must have a plan of her own. Hearing this, the girl finally breathed a sigh of relief. She turned around and took the 500,000 yuan reward from the director to go on a shopping spree. Unexpectedly, she ran into her best friend at the mall. The best friend immediately accused the girl of being a traitor and mocked her for having no dignity as the director's little follower. However, the girl retorted sharply, claiming that a homewrecker like the best friend, who was destroying the relationship between the director and the CEO, was the one with no dignity. As she spoke, the girl deliberately showed off the bank card in her hand, claiming it was the 500,000 yuan reward the director had given her for exposing their affair last time. The best friend was furious but helpless upon hearing this. Instead, the best friend's two lackeys mocked the girl for being ignorant, betraying a wealthy best friend for 500,000 yuan, and said that the best friend had even arrived in a Rolls-Royce, which the girl would never be able to ride in her entire life. Hearing this, the best friend immediately flustered and stopped the lackeys from saying anything more, then left in a hurry. However, the girl became suspicious, connecting this with the fact that the female director also owned a Rolls-Royce. She couldn't help but suspect that her best friend had colluded with the CEO to drive away the director's car, so she quietly followed them, only to catch the CEO and her best friend in another compromising situation. She immediately took a photo and sent it to the director. The director was instantly enraged after seeing it and rushed to the scene. However, by then, the CEO and the best friend were about to leave. To catch them in the act, the girl had to rush up to stop them to buy time, even deliberately exposing their scandalous relationship loudly. Passers-by gathered around curiously, seeing that she couldn't get rid of the girl. The best friend murderous intent arose and took advantage of the chaos to push the girl into the road, trying to get her killed by passing cars. Fortunately, the director arrived just in time to save the girl and ordered her bodyguards to restrain the best friend and the CEO. The best friend tried to falsely accuse the director of kidnapping, but the bodyguards accused her of car theft and attempted murder, saying she would likely spend the rest of her life in jail. Upon hearing this, the best friend finally became afraid and quickly explained that the CEO had told her to drive the car. The CEO, however, feigned calm and stated that the car was a loan from the director, but the director directly slapped him, saying she had only lent him the car to save face after his bankruptcy, never expecting him to use it to keep a mistress. With that said, the director announced the breakup and revoked his position as CEO. She also had the bodyguards inspect the car and found that it had been damaged, requiring at least 10 million yuan to repair. Hearing this, the CEO and the best friend collapsed instantly. At this moment, the girl finally saw through the director's plan and realized she wouldn't have to die like she did in her past life. She laughed with joy, but unexpectedly fainted from excessive excitement. When the girl woke up in the hospital, the director